Let's go. Let's go. Let's cap the week off, Cage. It's Friday. Everyone's like crawling to the finish line today, you know?
Yeah, man.
Little do they
I feel my age.
know.
I feel my age. I feel older than my age. Forget it. It's tough.
It's people don't realize it's a lot of walking, it's a lot of talking. There's people, you know, first off, welcome back to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo My. Gotta give a shout out to our Luca Nation community because even during National Cage, our listener numbers are up. We're hitting record listening numbers on YouTube. Appreciate your guys' engagement. Record numbers on Anchor. Guys, thank you, Collectible. Shout out to Collectible. They had a great event last night at the Bounce Sporting Club in Chicago, right near Lollapalooza. So it was quite a spectacle. So thank you to Collectible for putting on that event.
Can we make sure that we spend some time talking about our last evening's festivities during our episode to share it with Luca Nation who didn't get to share it with us?
I have nothing to say.
All right, then I'll do all the talking. This is for a change.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. Oh, so you have the Luca Tiger LeBron account. Post it up.
I'll post it.
Caption this about last night. Caption this.
It's amazing that as miserable as you were, as hungry as you were, as badly as you wanted to get home, as lost as we were in the middle of downtown Chicago with no way of getting anywhere and no way to get any food, you still look good in the picture. I mean, you sort of look like a homeless person, but you look like a happy, homeless person. But
Luca Nation, so picture this. So awesome event at Collectible on the rooftop, kind of overlooking Chicago. Event's over right at 10:45. And my buddy goes, let's have Bertoli's, like the famous Chicago hot dog.
So, yeah,
Bertoli. So we start waltzing over to go get this hot dog, and we arrive at 11:01.
I think it's Portillo's, but
they closed. Close.
He keeps calling Bertoli's.
Would you let me tell a story?
No.
They close at 11. So 1 minute late to get this hot dog. Cage was lying. I was not hungry. I did not want to eat any hot dogs. You guys know I've been eating clean. So I'm not about to have no hot dog and mess with my diet. They wanted hot dogs. Closed. Okay. Millions of people, Lollapalooza, girls wearing who knows what. Then we look to the right, McDonald's. Looks like an Apple store. Looks like a goddamn Apple store.
It's amazing.
Line out the door. Line out the door.
Huge line. 100-person line at McDonald's. Easy.
Let's go home. I open up my Uber app, $80 to get back to town.
Oh, he was not happy. He was not happy.
Guys, this is in a span of 2 minutes.
We got locked out of food. To Andrew's credit, his pal and I wanted hot dogs. We wanted to eat from this place. We wanted to get a sandwich. The drive-in lane was actually open later than the restaurant itself. He was trying to bribe people on the drive-in line to order us food, and then we can go pick it up from them on the other side of the restaurant. So he was trying to be, he was trying to be helpful. Then we went over to
the people in the line were actually not very helpful.
Yeah,
they were very confusing. The line doesn't operate as cleanly as a Chick-fil-A line. No, it does not.
And so we just started to walk because, we just, I guess, assumed the Uber pricing would go down, and it didn't. It didn't. Are you like twirling something? You're like, what are you playing with? It's like a water bottle?
I accidentally packed this.
Oh, aim and flame. You packed an aim and flame on a plane?
Carry on. Baggage by accident.
Okay.
Makes no sense.
That's awesome. I should do like an aim and flame Cage video. So anyway, we did get home, and we wound up hanging out at the Hyatt for a long time, and I didn't really get too much sleep. But it was an interesting night. I will post that.
When we got back to the Hyatt, that was fun.
Yeah.
When we got back to the Hyatt, that was fun. Blake Jameson had an event. Lefko was there. Peter Pacman was there. Yeah, and we were just bantering. Cage was like one ear listening, one ear ripping at Panini NFT packs.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
I most definitely was.
So, dude, and shout out to who was it? Jackson's Cards. Pulled the Luca, won a LeBron. But guys, we're gonna have an awesome show for you guys today. eBay. I don't know if you saw this. eBay did a big power move into the card space with their new data platform. So that's a big deal. Chris Bryant to the Giants. I want to ask you about Joe Burrow because I'm seeing a lot of people buy Joe Burrow, and I'm curious if you're worried that one, he's off a really bad knee injury. Not all knee injuries are the same, and that offensive line is no better than they were last year. Then one more topic: Pele Autos. I've been talking to some people, and I've heard that Pele isn't signing as much as he used to, and I'm curious if investing in Pele Autos is something that you're looking at. So I have a few topics first, Cage.
Yeah.
I hope you
Okay.
can summon the energy. I know you're still kind of hungry. You're
I'm
thinking about
always hungry.
that Morton's filet mignon times
I'm always
two.
hungry. I'm always hungry. But yeah, let's get into it. So, a couple things, right? So what do you want to talk about first? How about Pele Autos? I don't love Pele Autos because Muhammad Ali autos were awesome and they still are, but he just signed a lot. Even when he shouldn't have been signing anymore, he just kept signing and signing and signing. And Pele's been around for quite some time. He's been a star for quite some time, right? He was around for a long time. And I'm sure he signed a lot of autos, and I don't think it's exactly the scarcest auto. I mean, maybe like
Okay.
an on-card auto might be scarce. That might be a way to go, something like that. Definitely. But there's not a ton. We saw some today. We saw some cool ones today. It's not a ton of them. What's funny, man? I mean, it's to each his own. But we saw like a Pele game used jersey, which I'm sure costs about the same, if not less, than a Pele auto card, maybe even a Pele sticker auto card. So,
And what you're saying is how many of those are in circulation
yeah,
compared
not that
to
many.
Pele's autos?
Not that many. So, but the demand is not there for it, I guess. So, that's part of it as well. So,
I've realized something, guys. So Cage always made fun of me. He's like kombucha with Andrew. Cage's voice is different. I don't know if you guys are picking that up, and that's because he doesn't have 2 liters of soda every day. Is there some truth to that?
no, I've talked a lot the last couple of days, and I had a cigar yesterday while we were filming that documentary, and so my throat's a little. But yeah, I mean, my voice, my throat is definitely a little hoarse from talking all day, every day. For the last
Guys,
2
can you
days.
guys do me a favor? Because this isn't easy, and this is so we've been getting Cage. I mean, Cage can't walk down the convention without someone saying hi to him, but it's okay to understand. I think, and I think our Luca Nation will empathize that you can't please everybody. At an event like this, Cage, when we get invited to different shows, different happy hours, different events, meet this person, come to this dinner, go to this event, show up here. I think Luca Nation will support you. Say you could just do the best you can, and they would want you to have a good time here.
We're having a blast. You know what? I mean, we're talking national stuff. I'll get to all your topics of Pele stuff and you name it, the trades. But it's pretty cool what some of these guys do here. How they promote their stuff, what they're doing. I mean, PSA can never please anybody, right? But the operation that PSA is running, I mean, it's more than just bringing a camera or bringing some cards. I mean, basically have their office set up here with hundreds and thousands of people, submitting cards, dropping cards off. They have like a door. They go in the door. They have an office.
You hear some weird noises going on in the background. That's them slabbing. That's them slabbing the card.
They're slamming the cards. They're filling out paperwork. They got dozens of people there. It's they bring the factory to this to this event. It's really an amazing thing, and it's sort of thankless, right? Because I'm on the line waiting for grades back, and people are like, oh, my grades stink, or hey, they didn't do this the right way, and blah blah blah. So it's interesting. It really is just interesting.
Cage is getting a call. Is that from PSA?
No, I'll tell you what it is in a second.
Great. So I'll bring up another topic while Cage is easily distracted. Man. So listen, Joe Burrow, I'm a little bit worried, and so the way I got to this with Joe Burrow is I went up to a table today, and guys, tomorrow's when I'm buying. Tomorrow I'm making moves. I have my Lucas Silver in hand now. I have some cards. I'm going to do some trading, really. But I go up to a table, actually Rip's table, by the way, in case he wants to see you. And I ask him, he has a Sam Darnold base. I ask him, how much is that? $150. And I'm like, are you crazy? Sam Darnold base, a guy who has never accomplished a single thing in the NFL, is $150. So I'm starting to look, and I'm like, Joe Burrow cards. People are buying them. He's going to be the comeback kid. But I'm a little hesitant, Cage. That knee injury last year looked really bad. His card prices are really high. And that offensive line, is it improved? What's your take? Would you be buying or selling Joe Burrow cards right now?
So I like Burrow, and I like him better than Herbert, and his prices are not at Herbert level. If I had to pick, this season, who I think is going to have the best season of the Burrow, Tua, and Herbert, I think Burrow has a slightly better season than Herbert. I do, but I'm not investing in him long term. I liked him. I gave him as a play last year because I assumed after the knee injury that prices would go down on him, but They really didn't. They had a slight drop, and they just went right back up and are even higher now. And now with the hype cycle, the
Mm-hmm.
prices of football stuff is crazy. And everyone is asking for football. I have boxes and boxes of cards. People are like, hey, what about football? You got a football? I never really did football. I never really got a ton of football cards. I'm a Raider fan. There's not much to collect there. So,
But Cage, let me talk.
yeah.
Would you be surprised if Joe Burrow cards were the same price as Kyler Murray?
No, because Kyler
You
Murray's
th- do you,
cards have been beaten up too.
but do you think that's fair?
Yeah, I do think that's fair actually,
Wow.
because I mean Kyler Murray didn't really do much last year, and Joe Burrow didn't really do much last year, and I think they have similar expectations going into the season. I think that the knock on Burrow is he's a little older than these guys because he played a bunch of years in college, so he might not have as many years in the league. But I think the same knock can apply to Kyler Murray, not on his age, but because his style of play he's probably going to be able to play as long as Joe Burrow does because Burrow is going to remain upright. Although, look, Burrow already had a big knee injury and lost some time. So it is all a game of craps. But that doesn't surprise me. I mean, Kyler Murray is
Okay.
outside of the inner circle of quarterbacks that people are investing in right now. People are Herbert, right? People are Burrow. People are Mahomes. People are Josh Allen. People are obviously Brady and whatnot. But I don't really even Jalen Hurts people are high on. I don't really hear people say I got to get my Kyler Murray cards. That was last year.
I hear you. So I'll tell you guys why I asked that too. Because I got my Lucas Silver Prism sub that's coming. I'm gonna trade that. I have a few more cards. I'm gonna go after Kyler Murray. So I know I said Jason Tatum. I looked at Tatum prices, still really high. I think Kyler Murray's underpriced. And I'm looking at his stats, Cage. Last season he had 3,971 yards. The year before that, 3,722. Both seasons, Cage, good seasons. 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. And this is a guy that's been learning the game too. He's improved. He's a good runner. His shoulder was a little beat up last year. And I think the continuity of that offense, I think they could go take the next step up. And I think that division's actually wide open. Wide open. And Kyler's someone that when I'm looking at Burrow is $450, same price as Murray. Herbert, $800. Allen's accomplished. And I'm looking at Kyler Murray. I think he could take that next step the way Josh Allen took that step last year. So I know we're not doing plays during National, but I wanted to come on here. I
It's a
didn't
cool
waste the
play.
day.
Yeah,
I've been thinking. I've been doing some research. Took the day off lives. So Kyler Murray's an interesting play for me this weekend.
I mean, I don't hate it because obviously people saw something in him last year that they thought, wow, his card should really go up. And he was the offseason darling last year, right?
He was the
really
Trae Young.
He was the Trae Young. You could say that he was last year's Justin Herbert. People are not going to want to hear that. But you could say that what's happening to Herbert now was happening to Kyler Murray last year. And you just read his stats. It's not like he had a bad season.
Not at all.
Right? He just didn't overwhelm everyone. And that's the thing you have to be cautious of. And look, I'm not
and
saying.
Now, and just sorry to interrupt you, Cage. And now, what is his expectations? Nothing. You just said it. He's not even an expectation because everyone's looking at other people. So
Smart.
any performance that's a little bit above what even. So it's an interesting play. Any topics
Smart.
you want to discuss? Chris Bryant to the Giants. Cage, you've been spot on about the Giants since basically April.
Yeah. The Giants are good, man. I like the Giants. From a collection standpoint, they're not really relevant. Although, if adding Chris Bryant's a cool thing. I'm surprised Trevor Story didn't go anywhere. I thought the Yankees might grab him, give him a run and then try to sign him in the offseason. I don't really love the Yankee moves. A lot of people talking about the Westbrook. I know we talked about that yesterday. That's pretty cool. The topic for me, it's funny, man. I talk to people about the show, and there's a lot of people here, right? And I almost had like a preconceived, like, wow, this doesn't look good for me. This convention, it doesn't look so great. And I love meeting people. I love the cards. But every time I went to a table, people were like, yeah, we're not really buying. Anytime I walk past somebody who would walk up to a table, even though every table had a sign on it, buying, they'd walk up and they say, you buying anything? And before the dealer even saw what the person had, they would say, no, we're not really buying right now. Some people would say, it depends what you have. You got anything really liquid? You got anything like low-end rookies? You got any Juan Sotos? Or you got any really high-end? Like, what do you got? So some people would do that. I didn't really see much buying coming from dealers to kids coming to sell their cards or trade their cards and that stuff. But it's funny. I happen to be walking near your hotel, and what's the guy's name who did StockX and is now
Josh Luber.
Josh Luber. I ran into Josh Luber, right? And I said, "Hey, what's up, man? What do you think of the National?" And he's like, "It's amazing." And I said, "Well, what do you mean? I'm looking at dealers who are not buying. It doesn't look like they're doing great. I don't know how they even make the money for their tables." And he goes, "That's not what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at is the average age of the people at the convention this year is like 20 years younger than what it was a decade ago." And that's what we need, and it's exciting for them, and they're breaking, and they're doing more than breaking, and they have cards, and they're trading, and it's that's what you need for a hobby like this. You need new blood, and it was a very different way of thinking than I was thinking yesterday, and it's interesting, right? You don't want to make decisions based on one thing. You don't want to have preconceived notions. I look at it, I'm like, all right, well, none of these deals are buying anything. Well, they came here to sell their shit. Right. So, maybe they're not in buying mode. Maybe they haven't sold as much stuff. But what we didn't report on yet here is last night's trade night with Card Collector 2. I mean, they had to close the room. I mean, there were more people there than we saw Conrad there. And Conrad was looking to rip a box, and he couldn't find top loaders. We were going all around the room. He was asking for top loaders everywhere. He didn't have top loaders. No one had top loaders. I found one guy who had just opened a thing of top loaders. I offered him $20 for a handful of top loaders. He said, "Sure." I gave him the Conrad, and Conrad had a top loader. I mean, it was crowded. It was like no room to move. Every table taken, which is cool because these dealers might not be out there buying cards from us, but we're all buying cards from each other. We're all trading cards with each other, and that's really cool. At least that's what I think. On the flip side, I made a deal today, and I came all the way from New York to Chicago, and I made a deal with someone who we've been in an Instagram group with for 20 years. Someone I talk to all the time, for 2 years. It's just funny how that works out, right?
He's a good deal maker. I got to give game recognized game. Dude, he's a good deal maker. He's a good deal maker. But Cage, I'll tell you what you got to understand, and I think you'll agree with this. Over the last year, people have overextended their capital in cards. Just to put it lightly,
people are card rich. I was saying
people are card rich. Yep. And probably maybe safely 20% of your income or 20% of your investment should be in cards. Some people are holding, and these dealers are holding 50, 60, 70% of their net worth in cards. Now, why does that matter? Because, Cage, you said they're not buying. Well, we need new blood to come, and we offload, collectively as an insider hobby, offload some of that money onto the new blood and let them hold the potential good investments. So I think that's equally important. I think that's why we need to grow that pie, that figurative pie that we always talk about, because there's always going to be a market for high-end stuff. But that middle tier stuff, I think people overextended themselves, and they can't really buy new stuff, these big dealers, until they offload it to some of the newer blood, like you mentioned, the younger generation that comes in and it's like, I want to make a bet on that. I want to make a bet on this.
So to the folks who are listening to this and want to know a little more detail what you think that middle tier is, give kind of a value range of what the middle tier is.
I wouldn't necessarily put it in price, even though there obviously are prices, because like if you compare the middle tier pricing of Formula One versus the middle tier pricing of like vintage baseball, they're not going to be comparable. The highest tier of Formula One is probably like in the 20, 30, 40,000. I'm not sure that market, where like high end vintage baseball is 6, 7, 800,000 into the million. So you can't really compare. But I would say it's stuff that's not super rare. Right, it's stuff it's duplicatable. It's stuff that's liquid. You know that if you sell it, you could get it back at any time. That stuff like the Luca Prism, right? Like when things are good, people are gobbling those up. But right now, when all your income's tied up, you don't want to buy that. You could buy it in 3 months, 6 months. So I don't know if that helps. I don't know if there's a price range. I think it's just the not scarce stuff.
No, that definitely helps. I mean, I'm in total agreement with you. I mean, I think that you're 100% right. I think there's that segment of cards and collectibles right in that middle segment where it's interesting, right? There's a lot of them, and the prices still run up from where they are. The rare stuff's going to be the rare stuff, and the top people are always going to be buying that. But so, what does that mean for like the low end? What does it mean for like base cards and stuff like that? Do you think that thrives? Do you think that's dead? What do you think?
It was cool to see. So we ran into Anthony Ronaldo yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and we were hanging out, and he came here. He opened Cards and Culture, an awesome store in Louisiana, I believe, in Baton Rouge by LSU. Going to be super successful. It's kind of like it's got like a clubby vibe to it too. From the pictures, kind of place you want to hang out, spend some time, a lounge. But some of the kids with him, they were buying nice cards, but in GMA slabs, and to them, they didn't care that they were not PSA, and they were buying GMA slabbed cards for, it was like $50-$60, where the PSA 10 version of that card might have been 300-400. And that was cool to see because these kids, they're 16, 17, 20, 18. They didn't care about PSA 10s. They just really liked that card, and they liked that it was protected in a slab, and they got it for in their price range, which is a lot of money for a high schooler. $100 is a lot. So that's interesting. That's the interesting part, because I think what happens is, as parents, like Reckless Cards, right? Let's use him as an example. As parents get back into the hobby, they'll give their kids, here's $100. Go do some stuff with it. See what happens, right? And kids have their own like little mini bankroll that they're working on. So that lower end stuff is it's cool to see. So many successful businessmen, they tie back their business success to when they collected as kids, because it teaches you so many fundamental money principles. So I think that lower end stuff is just it's fun to learn the principles of money and making deals and trading and stuff like that. No different than what you do with Ian.
Ian had a Friday break today. We did it over FaceTime.
I know you're missing him, buddy. I don't want to
miss a FaceTime. I don't want to miss a break. We've been breaking since last March every Friday. So he opened a Clearly Donruss box, and he got an Anthony Edwards. It was pretty cool. Had some fun.
What's cool for me? People know Cage's personality, and I'm talking like the bigger wigs in the hobby. They know Cage's personality from the show, but I think it's cool to get to see the gentle giant behind the camera. Like, dude, come on. Like, Cage is going out. Like, the amount of gifts and pictures you're taking, and you're like, oh, you're from here. Here's Marco Luciano. I know you're a huge Giants fan. Like, little things like that. They're so unnoticed, but I'll tell you on behalf of Luca Nation and myself just watching that, thank you, Cage. That's very kind and generous of you, brother. And I'm glad you set that example.
You know what I say to that. We got to thank Luca Nation. We got to thank our audience. People listening to this. People listen to us talk. And I think that's the most amazing thing in the world. And so if you're listening to this and it's Saturday and I'm still here and you haven't gotten something from me, find me. Find me and come grab a slab. Grab a slab. Grabaslab.com. Can you look that up on GoDaddy for me? We might have to.
Grabaslab.com.
Grabaslab.com. I mean, it's sort of dirty. But still,
it's provocative.
Still card
It gets
relevant.
the people going.
Exactly. Yeah, man. So I mean,
you know what movie that's from, Cage?
What? It gets the people going?
Yeah.
No. What's
nobody knows what it means. It's provocative. It gets the people going.
No, I don't know what that is.
Dude,
what is it?
Come on. You're not a Will Ferrell guy, huh?
Sort of. It gets the people going. What is that from?
It's actually from a Jay-Z song. But it's from Blades of Glory.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that once or twice. That was kind of stupid.
We're going to dance to one song and one song only, yeah. Humps. My lady humps. I'm not dancing to any song with any references to humps in it.
No, that's good. Good for you. The shoe is on the other foot today. You are doing movie lines, and it makes me very happy to hear. I'm trying to think. Listen, I'd like to get back to plays soon. That's fun stuff. I will tell you. I'm sure. I'd love for you guys to hear news from me first, right? Rather than the video that I'm sure Sasha is going to be posting. But I sold a bunch of cards today to Sasha. Pretty big deal. I sold him a Charizard PSA 9. I sold him Trey Red, color match. Some Carmelo Anthony cards. Some 2012 Prism. Beal and Lillard and Klay Thompson. Just a pretty large deal. Great dealing with him. Back and forth, negotiating. Literally everything's on camera, so I'm sure he'll put a video out there. But now I gotta talk to my consigliere here, Andrew. Maybe he'll come out to dinner with me tonight and he'll tell me what I should spend this money on. Maybe he'll give me an idea. Maybe I should be buying Pele Autos.
I just gave you a play, Kyler Murray, dude.
I should just buy a whole bunch of Kyler Murray. You know what I'm going to do with it, right? I'm going to buy Panini packs online. No, so honestly, here's the only other thing
I would assess your portfolio first because Cage is this interesting investor, man. He's got it all covered. Like, look at this guy, middle-aged man in his 40s, lawyer, but he's investing in NFTs, Panini NFTs, and it's a Twitter NFT. Okay, Devontae Graham to T-Space. So he's got that gambling vibe to him.
I bought another NFT recently called The World of Women.
But then he's also I know you are. I'm laughing at the seriousness of it. But then you also are a whale. Like you have the Jordan, you have the Mantle, you have Montana, you have Bryce, you have the Pokemon set. So you also have that like really safe investment, but you also are a gambler here. So I would ask yourself, what percentage of your portfolio do you want in gambling versus what percentage safe, and then I would decide where to invest. Because if you spend too much on Panini NFTs and now you're in a lot of risk, then maybe you go something really safe and vintage to protect that 29,000. Yeah, very cool, Cage. Let's become that kind of show. Let's just throw stacks. That's what I would do. That's how I would think about it, actually.
No, I mean it makes total sense. Meanwhile, I'm just like, all right, let's go find something. Let's go find something and buy it. Let's go buy something. Let's just buy it now. Yeah. So,
like, dude, who was your favorite player growing up? In basketball, football, like, did you have any? I know your dad was your hero, but like
basketball, I like Patrick Ewing. I was a Knick fan. It's difficult to admit that.
So why not buy like a Patrick Ewing game used jersey?
Nobody cares about Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, but it would be a fraction, and it would be such a cool collecting item, and nobody cares about that until someone does. I don't totally love that statement as like no one cared about a lot of things until they did.
I get it. But yeah, Patrick Ewing, people don't like. And he never won. He'll always be the guy who finger rolled his way into not ever winning a championship.
That's probably more dirty than crack a slab.
I like Bo Jackson. People care about Bo Jackson. Maybe I'll grab a cool Bo Jackson piece or something like that for myself or my PC. We'll figure it out. I definitely have
like
some ideas.
A scorecard with his auto on top of it. I know
that
how
would
much
be
you
cool.
hate that.
That would be
I know
cool.
how much you hate that, but
that's not
cool.
a card though. In PSA 10 is a couple $100. Like I would get an auto on that card. That's not an iconic like art piece. I wouldn't autograph his 86 tops traded Tiffany PSA 10, which is a 5-figure card. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't get an autograph on that. But yeah, I love it. Listen, I'm having a blast here, but I gotta tell you, I'm in pain. But I can't wait to go out. I hope a lot of I've told every Luca Nation member today, dude, you're killing that pen. I've told every Luca Nation member today that after we have some dinner, I'm gonna hit back that Hyatt. I know Reckless Cards has some cigars. I'm really looking forward to hanging out, and hopefully, in tomorrow's episode, we can do a recap of hanging out with our Luca Nation guys.
Tomorrow's episode, Cage is going to be like a 60-year-old smoker with his voice.
Oh, forget I may have no voice. I had 4 cigars last night, and I can't feel my tonsils. Yeah, something like that.
Can you open on your app? How many steps have you taken today?
Okay, sure.
Okay,
hold on, dude. So yesterday, come on, you stupid thing. Yesterday, I did 14,521, and today I have 11,884 already.
Let's go. Let's go. The big fella.
We'll do 15,000 a day. It'll be a lot of fun because we still got some walking later. I mean, you had me walking around the streets of downtown Chicago last night looking for hot dogs. So, there's a lot of steps involved in that.
The best part of all this, so at the end of it, it's like a 40-minute endeavor that felt like 6 hours. I got a cab. So, actually, I got a Lyft. The guy would refuse to wait for 5 minutes. No lie. So, he moved on, and some other guy drove up who isn't a Lyft driver, just a random guy. Nice guy. I think his name was Sandeep, no lie. And he was like, do you need a ride? I was like, sure. Can you wait a few minutes? He said, no problem. Cage was second in line, 1 hot dog away. And he decided to jump out of line and be like, let's go.
Yeah, that's it. And I was tired of Andrew trying to flag cars down in the middle of the road. I'm like, he's going to get hit by a car. We can get a hot dog somewhere else. Like it's
Mm-mm.
okay. It's all
Mm-mm.
right. No worries. So yeah,
I was doing my job for the team. I wasn't hungry, and I was gonna get us home by any means necessary.
It was an interesting night, Luca Nation, and I have a feeling tonight is gonna be the same. I
Yeah.
can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of fun because I'm trying to drag Andrew back to the same area of downtown Chicago and leave us with no rides home again.
Well, guys, Collectible had an event last night. Shout out to Marino, great event, really well planned. The whole Collectible team, Dan Silverman, Jason, who's the founder. We met him last night. Great event. But tonight we got Slab Stucks. We have the charity event, so it's like, yeah. And this is the stuff we were talking about in the beginning of the show. And I mean, you guys know we confide in you guys. We're just off the cuff, and we talk to you about what we talk about. There's a lot of events, and it's hard to choose, and it's hard when you go all the way downtown. You can't bounce around events that are happening here, and I think it's also a responsibility to go and meet other businesses, creatives, our friends, other stuff. So that's the standpoint. It's nothing against Collectible. I would love to, I'd love to clone myself and be in 6 places at once.
Oh my God, what a scary thought. 6 Andrews. I have a hard enough time with 1. Luca Nation, we love you.
Brother.
We'll keep reporting on the events of the day. Hope you're enjoying this. We really are enjoying ourselves, and we're enjoying meeting you guys. And this has really been a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.